People said that Mukesh Ambani spent all of his money on Anand's wedding. So now he is making up for it by hiking the prices of Jio.
लेकिन हम लोग तो मोबाइल यूज करना नहीं छोड़ सकते हैं ना, तो हम लोग को यूज करना पड़ेगा। वो जैसा है ना, हम लोग को ऊपर चढ़ाया जा रहा है।
Reliance Jio has hiked tariffs for the first time in over 2 years. The average hike across various plans is about 20%.
But Jio is not alone. Airtel and VI have also jacked up their prices. And this seems like a pre-mediated move that the three companies have taken in unison.
The broad range of tariffs is between 12 to 25%.
Jio and Airtel literally did it on the same day, 3rd July. While VI did it the next day on 4th July. It is estimated that collectively, customers will now be paying these telcos an extra 47,000 crore rupees every single year. But if you watched my last 2 videos, you already know that the price hike by Jio was not to pay for the wedding. Jio doesn't contribute a lot to Reliance's revenue anyway. The real reason for this price hike will come later in the video, and it is much more interesting. However, one unforeseen consequence of this sudden price hike by the market leaders was the rise of an old telecom player from its ashes. It was a player that was the undisputed emperor of the Indian telecom sector for almost a decade. A goose that laid golden eggs, which became an unfortunate victim of the greed of its owners. And that player was BSNL. BSNL announced that it was also revising some of its plans, but instead of increasing, it actually ended up decreasing its rates. Where Jio is now offering 2 GB per day with unlimited calling for 28 days at Rs 349, BSNL offers the same plan for 30 days at just Rs 199, which is over 40% cheaper than Jio. So people who were already upset with Jio for the price hike went bonkers, and hashtag port to BSNL started trending on Twitter. The Economic Times reported that in just 2 weeks after the tariff hikes by Jio, about 2.5 lakh people have left Jio, Airtel and VI and ported to BSNL, while BSNL has added 25 lakh new SIM connections as well. There are also reports that BSNL has now joined hands with Tata with a 15,000 crore rupees contract to help their infrastructure. So Tata will ensure that BSNL's success is guaranteed. But how did BSNL, which used to be the most profitable PSU with annual profits of 10,000 crores, turn into a debt machine? What was the role of the government in killing this goose that laid golden eggs? Will BSNL really be able to succeed now when Jio and Airtel are at their peak? And why is Tata's name being linked to BSNL's return? To find out the answers, let's start with the beginning of BSNL. BSNL was established by the Government of India in October 2000. The goal was very simple. Telecommunication was the next big thing at that time, and the Indian government had a national duty to take a phone line to every nook and cranny of India. Because the Indian telecom sector faced a unique problem back then. After the liberalization reforms of 1991, private players started entering the Indian telecom sector. 3 major players launched in 1995 together. Airtel, then called Bharti Televentures, Vodafone, then called Hutchison or Hutch, and Idea, then called Birla AT&T. Tata Teleservices also started in 1996. But all of these were focused on providing mobile network services. And these were private companies whose goal was to make profits. So they only provided services in cities where installing towers and infrastructure made financial sense. The only PSU was MTNL, which was launched in 1986. But even that catered to only Mumbai and Delhi. So now it was up to the government to take phone connections to areas where those private players refused to go. And this was why BSNL was established in 2000. Its goal was not to make profits but to establish phone connectivity. With support from the government, BSNL undertook network expansion projects of unbelievable scales, investing heavily in increasing its reach to rural and urban areas across the country with top-notch technology. Its prices were competitive and it covered areas that no other operator did. So it was virtually a monopoly in several parts of India. As a result, BSNL was profitable right from its first year, and it did 6,000 crores of profits in 2002. You would not believe that at its peak, it brought in over 10,000 crores in a single year for the government in 2005. And at one point, it captured a 65% share of the market. But then something very strange happened. From 2006, its profits started falling. In 2010, it turned a loss for the very first time. And in 2012, BSNL suffered a loss of over 8,000 crores. So what went wrong in just a few years such that a monopoly like BSNL turned into a loss machine? Well, what happened to BSNL is perhaps one of the saddest stories in the history of Indian PSUs. In 2007, news reports came out that then Telecom Minister Dayanidhi Maran was being interrogated by the CBI. CBI said that Mr. Dayanidhi had installed his own telephone exchange with 764 high-speed telephone lines from BSNL, and he was using these lines for his own Sun TV network and paying zero bills for it. This resulted in a loss of rupees 1.78 crores to the government. So the central government replaced Mr. Dayanidhi with Mr. A. Raja. But Mr. Raja did something that made Mr. Dayanidhi's scam look like a joke. Because under his term as the telecom minister, India saw the biggest scams of all time. He was involved in the infamous 2G spectrum scam, which caused a loss of rupees 1.76 lakh crores to the government, about $40 billion at that time. The scam shook the entire country and eventually contributed to the downfall of the UPA government. But for BSNL, it brought an entirely different set of problems. Problems that would almost end up killing the most profitable PSU in India. You see, after this scam, the government and BSNL came under a lot of pressure for corruption. As a result, the scrutiny of government watchdogs like CBI and CAG increased. And all these intense audits revealed that BSNL had stage 4 corruption cancer. It was ingrained at the grassroots level across the company. There were several irregularities in BSNL's procurement and contracts. Large, reputed companies like Nokia and Ericsson were sidelined several times in favor of fake shell companies. Almost every contract, small or big, was plagued by bribing and corruption. And as these details unraveled, the scrutiny of watchdogs became even tighter. And eventually, it came to a place where BSNL was unable to float even small contracts or tenders without delays and rejections. So BSNL's hands were tied and it could not maintain or upgrade its services. But at the same time, future giants were breeding in the private sector in India. Mobile phones were becoming increasingly popular around the late 2000s. The demand for 2G and 3G internet was exploding and private players were investing heavily to fund their expansion. So BSNL was becoming slow and outdated while these private players continued to capture the entire Indian market. And the final nail in the coffin for BSNL came in 2016 with the launch of Jio. When companies like Airtel, Idea and Vodafone couldn't survive on their own, it was impossible for BSNL to stand its ground. While Jio was providing 4G data for free, BSNL and its low-speed 3G with poor customer service did not even stand a chance. BSNL continued to suffer losses, but since it was a PSU, the government couldn't just shut it down. In 2019, the government gave BSNL a revival package of rupees 69,000 crores. In 2022, a second package of rupees 1.64 lakh crores, and in 2023, another package of rupees 89,000 crores. So in the last 5 years, the government has pumped in rupees 3.2 lakh crores of taxpayers' money into BSNL. That is $43 billion. But even after this, it suffered a loss of rupees 8,161 crores in FY 2023. So by March 2024, Jio led the market with a 40% share, followed by Airtel at 32% and VI at 18%. BSNL was at the bottom with just 8%. But when everything was going so well for Jio and Airtel, why did they now decide to increase the prices? You see, Airtel invested about 43,000 crores or $5.8 billion in 2022 in the 5G spectrum auctions. And the total cost of rolling out 5G for Airtel is estimated to be even higher at $10 billion. Jio invested even more, 88,000 crore rupees or $11.2 billion for the 5G spectrum and about $27 billion for the total rollout. But since December 2021, there have been no major hikes in tariffs for either Jio or Airtel, even though our networks automatically upgraded from 4G to 5G. So why would they continue to provide us 5G at the cost of 4G? This tariff hike was actually inevitable. Now, customers always find reasons to complain. While no one complained when Jio provided voice and data literally for free for almost a year and then increased our data access from 2 GB per month to 2 GB per day, people hated this increase in prices. And capitalizing on this opportunity, 2 weeks after the price hike, BSNL came out with its strategy to beat the market with rates 40% lower than others. Then, news came out that BSNL had just awarded Tata's TCS with a new contract to roll out their 4G and 5G services. So people suddenly had this newfound confidence in BSNL services due to the brand value of Tata. And hashtags like #port2BSNL and #BSNL ki ghar wapsi started trending on social media. 2.5 lakh customers reportedly ported to BSNL along with 25 lakh new SIM connections. So it looks like BSNL is set to return and it will give tough competition to Jio and Airtel, right? Well, not exactly. While I would personally love to see BSNL succeed, this is a false narrative being built in the public based on wishful thinking. Let's see some facts and see what they tell us. First, let's look at the data for March 2024. If you look at the ARPU or average revenue per user for these three telcos, Airtel is at Rs 209, Jio is at Rs 182, while VI is at Rs 146. But for BSNL, this is just Rs 70. So while Airtel and Jio are making close to Rs 200 from every customer, BSNL is struggling at a meager 70 rupees. Only Airtel and Jio were profitable last year. Even VI did a loss of Rs 7,600 crores in Q4 of FY 2023, even with an ARPU double of BSNL. Now, I won't go into the details of why ARPU is important for these telcos. I have added links in the description if you want to learn more. But what this means is that in order to make any profits, BSNL needs to increase its prices rather than decrease them. It is not in a financial position to sustain these low tariff rates for a long period. And second, BSNL is a public sector company that runs very inefficiently. In India, a government employee leaves his job only after retirement or in an ambulance. Layoffs are not even an option. Despite thousands of crores in losses for the past several years, the employee costs have not come down for BSNL. As of 2023, their staff expenses accounted for a substantial 38.4% of their total revenue. And finally, the services of BSNL continue to be awful. You see, it's not that BSNL has become cheaper than Jio or Airtel only recently. For the past several years now, BSNL has provided considerably cheaper plans than its competitors, but it still lost customers. In the last year alone, BSNL lost 1.8 crore subscribers. And that is because prices don't really matter when the services are poor. People born in the 90s or before would recall that BSNL services are so poor that you would pull your hair out. You would not use BSNL even if it was offered to you for free. And while the world has moved on to 5G, BSNL still provides 3G. Now, some people use this news about how BSNL has recently awarded TCS a 15,000 crore rupees contract to upgrade their systems to 4G and then 5G. They said that with the reliability of the Tata group, the service quality will improve and 5G will soon be on BSNL without any delays. But upon checking this, I found that this is not a recent event. The deal between TCS and BSNL actually happened over a year ago in May 2023. And even after onboarding TCS, BSNL has been unable to roll out 4G and 5G on time. Their deadlines have already been pushed several times now. The reliability of Tata is clearly not working as expected. So when BSNL lost subscribers for several years despite their low prices, I can't see a reason why it will sustain growth now with everything essentially remaining the same. Customers have a short memory. Soon, the bitterness of the price hikes will go away and people will stick with Jio and Airtel simply because they have a better offering. Unless there are some drastic changes in how BSNL operates, it is unlikely to see it return to its former glory anytime soon. I spent 10 days doing the research for this video. So please support me by liking and subscribing below. Follow me on LinkedIn and Instagram. The link is in the description below. Check out this video if you want to know how Jio isn't really the cash cow for Ambanis. Until I see you in the next video, goodbye.